Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chill Dad Gaming. I'm coming off the Battlefield 6 high and playing the open beta for the last 3 weekends. It's been super fun and a wild ride. There's a lot of buzz and hype going on right now with Battlefield 6. It's all over the place. However, I want to talk to you and share with you 10 things I'm worried about the Battlefield 6 launch. All right, so with that, let's jump right into this. The first thing up is going to be lightning fast health regen. Now, if you're watching this clip here, you'll notice I'll take some damage and it gets me down to about 25% health, and as I back up a little bit and wait, it's within 7 seconds that I get back up to full health. Now, in previous Battlefield titles, that time was well over 10 seconds. Don't quote me on this, but I believe most games were like 13 to 15 seconds, depending on the title. This seems like almost instantaneous. You just get behind cover for a little bit and you're already back up to full health. I don't know if they're doing this specifically for the open beta and to get people to play, quicker, faster, and to get as much time as they can in the open beta, but I just think it's way too fast. It kind of negates the whole thing of having a support medic class and being able to get your heals and more meaning to death and taking damage. It just seems like you duck under cover and you're already back up to full health. You jump back into the fight. I really think DICE should look at that and extend that time frame. All right, the second thing up is going to be unpredictable and fast respawns. Now, with the unpredictable spawns, it was just the randomness and the proximity to the enemy teams. It just seemed like we were spawning on top of each other. I had encountered multiple times where they were right behind me or right around the corner. And it just, I don't know, just really give you a chance to like get your bearings, know where you're going, get to cover, find your teammates and stuff like that. And then on top of that, the respawn time is really fast. Once you die and you get to the map and you can select your next point of where you want to spawn, it seemed like that was within 10 seconds that timer went off that you can respawn. Once again, if this is an open beta thing, that they have that tweak so low so you can jump back into the fight. But I think DICE should look at that as well when they come to the launch time. Now, the third thing is going to be the open versus closed weapons. I know they're testing it out. I know they're trying to get feedback and figure out what's the best decision here, but let me make this easy for you, DICE. Stop being a little bitch and just make it closed weapons. That is the Battlefield way. That's how it's always been. That's how it should be. Done deal. Let's keep moving. Hey everybody, let's take a quick pause here. I want to ask you for a small favor, but has a big impact. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to check out my main channel, Chill Dad Reviews, and my Twitch channel, Chill Dad TV, where I play all my favorite games. And let's keep going with this video. Next up, shotguns are too OP. This is pretty straightforward. Most shooter games, shotguns are always the most powerful, close quarters weapon to use, but I think the distance needs to be nerfed. They have a lot of range, and if you want to use attachments for that but then offset other things, that's fine, but at least in the open beta they can definitely kill you from farther distances. They need to nerf that. That's how I feel. Next up is the sniper glints. Now, I don't know if DICE is trying to go for another version of the beacons of Gondor, but it just seems a little bit too obvious and in your face. It just like glares your screen, and then when you see like 6 of them at a time, it's just a little bit much. And I think from both sides, if you're a sniper, trying to snipe an enemy, it's just too easy to spot and it doesn't really give you an advantage. So I think it's way too loud in your face. I think they need to tone it down a little bit. That's something that could be easily fixed, but who knows what they think. So the 6th item on the list is going to be bugs. I mean, that's the whole point of open beta, which is great. I'm glad DICE took the time to do this and get some actual live feedback and data from real players out there. And hopefully this really helps to launch the game. However, there was a couple that were pretty concerning. One that I experienced was I couldn't quit the game. So when I went to go to quit the menu, it just didn't do anything. And it was like the button was broken. Eventually, I had to Alt-4 out of it. Also, there's just a lot of weird graphics and artifacts and things happening. I will say the game ran really smoothly the whole time. I didn't experience any major crashes, but there's definitely other bugs out there that I know that people complained about. So, they just need to work on those bugs. Next item up is going to be map design. Now, for the open beta, it was mainly small, CQC maps, which is fine. We didn't really get to experience the true Battlefield wide, massive maps and so many different ways to go. Battlefield really does a good job of making, good, solid maps. I mean, I think they're really known for that. They have made some really awesome maps. I just don't think we really saw that during the open beta. The Empire State map, I think it was a little underwhelming. It was all urban based, which is great. And I think they want to cater to all the type of players out there who might like that more. My problem with the Empire State wasn't necessarily the smaller size. It was also the lack of a flanking mechanism or path or way to go around the enemy team or to get to a different capture point. When I joined a game, the other team was spawn camping us. The other team was heavily, stacked. We couldn't get out of there, and it was just like spawn die as we're running out. They really need like a tunnel system or a subway, as you would think in New York. You would have that ability to get to a subway. It was a really odd choice that they didn't include that in the map design for Empire State. So hopefully this is just a one-off of the Empire State and what they've shown here, and they're waiting for the grand finale or opening on launch day. Number 8 on the list is underwhelming DMRs. So I tested out every weapon I possibly could while playing the open beta, and I used the DMR like 3 or 4 times, and to be honest with you, I thought it was a waste. I felt like I wasn't able to be viable and like keep up with the other types of weapons out there. They just seem very weak. I don't know if it's a damage thing or distance, or I don't know what exactly the reason behind it, but I think DMRs, at least the one I tried, didn't really seem like it packed a punch and could keep up with the other weapons, but it just seems like DMRs are very underwhelming in the open beta. The next item on the list is map glitches and exploits. Now, I didn't really experience anything too crazy on the maps in open beta, just a few small minor things like, getting stuck on some rocks and different platforms and weird things with the buildings, happening with the destruction. But my main concern is some of the weird exploits and glitches and people being able to get out of bounds. I know Jack Frags posted a video on this. So, stuff like that is a concern, that people are going to be able to exploit that and be able to kill you, from an invisible wall or somewhere up on a, weird spot on a rooftop. Hopefully there's not too many more of those in the official launch maps. Now, the last and final thing on the list is the amount of destruction caused by weapons. Specifically, if you were to shoot an RPG at a wall or side of a building, it just seemed to like completely demolish it, or at least half the building would be pretty blown up. I don't know, again, if this is an open beta thing that they cranked it to 10. I would have liked to see, if you do shoot a RPG at a wall, take out a piece of it, half of it, whatever the impact is. This is not a huge thing by any means, but I think it could be fine-tuned a little bit more. All right, everybody, that's going to be my 10 things I'm worried about with the Battlefield 6 launch. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this list. What are your thoughts or concerns? If you plan on pre-ordering, drop those comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.